Hi there. Good to see everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome. We have more coming. Good to see y'all. And also, I'm going to say we are recording this. So if you have friends that are having a hard time getting on or miss it for any reason, let them know that we're recording it and we'll post it on the band website as well as the Danielson Facebook. So not all is lost if you missed out on the Zoom. It's recorded forever. We'll try to say all the right things. Well, good to see everybody. My name is Andrea Gonzalez, and I am so excited that you have chosen to join us tonight. We are excited. I'm here with Mrs. Klingenberg and Mrs. Piccioni. Hopefully they're at the top of the screen with me. But we're the three Danielson band directors. And I know that it's really, I want to start out by saying most of this audience is mostly 7th and 8th graders. And I'm sure it's a little daunting to go from the program that you're comfortable being in to this whole new program with new kids and new directors. You'd already figured out your old directors. Now you got to figure out new band directors. But we understand that. And the most important thing for us, for you, is that you just reach out to us with all of your concerns. If you have questions, you reach out to us. Do the very best on your audition. We know that it's a little bit of a weird end of the year and that you haven't had a formal band class to be getting help for the last 2 months. So don't stress out about it, but please get that into us so that we can at least hear where you are, we can help you, and we can get your placement pretty close. All that being said as well, it's not the end of the world if you hate your recording or you hate your audition. That's okay, because we're also going to talk to your band directors and get a feel for what your band directors have seen from you all year long. So we'll get a good picture of what you have and what you are doing in the band program. We're thrilled that you're joining us. You know, it's cool that you get to do all the new things. We have a brand new fight song. We're going to have a brand new school song. All these things that you'll be debuting for the first time. And as 7th and 8th graders, you're going to be the ones that debut all of that at the first football game for Danielson, at everything that we have coming up. So that's really cool, and I want you to kind of embrace that opportunity. Our Danielson band mission is artistry, discipline, and excellence. And those three things are going to guide us through everything we do. We want you guys to become amazing team players. We also want you to become amazing leaders. And you can do that at the same time, and band is the perfect opportunity for that to happen. Once you get those skills, you go off into the Glen Band, you go off into the world, and you do amazing things. And that's what we're wanting for all of you guys, making great human beings through music. Now we're going to introduce ourselves to you, because I'm sure you're very curious about us. So I'll start out and then I'll hand it over to my colleagues. I'm Andrea Gonzalez. I'm the director of bands. I'm excited to be joining you guys, and I'm excited to be joining Danielson. And I get so excited when I hear the updates of what the building's been doing, what new staff members we have. So it's a cool place. The things that I also get excited about are meeting you guys for the first time. You know, you are the future. You're the future of Danielson. You're the future of Glen. I am from Kansas. I'm actually not from Texas. I'm an import. And I came here, I started out, I grew up in the same house in Kansas. I started piano since I was 5 years old. When I was in 6th grade, I started the clarinet, and I played the clarinet from 6th grade all the way till I was a 10th grader. And when I was a 10th grader, the bassoonist in the band quit. And I begged my band director to let me play the bassoon, and he let me, as long as I learned all my scales. So I did that. And then when it was time for me to go to college, I decided I wanted to be in music some way, somehow. So I got into the University of Texas on a bassoon scholarship, and I came, and for 4 years, I was in the UT Wind Ensemble. I went to Napa Valley to debut the Circus Maximus, the Corleano piece that UT commissioned. I did it in Europe. We did a big Europe tour. I was in the Longhorn Band as well. So I did all those crazy college things. And then when I was done at UT, I got my first teaching job, which was at Round Rock ISD, teaching middle school at C.D. Folks Middle School, and I did that for 3 years. And then I went to Anderson High School, where I've been for the past 9 years. And at Anderson, I was an assistant band director for 4 years. And then I was promoted to the head band director when our current head band director became an assistant principal. So I've been head band director at Anderson for 5 years. And now I'm excited to come to Leander with my family and start the Danielson Band with these awesome colleagues of mine and do some new stuff. So that's me. I have one daughter that's a 2-year-old. She's ruling the house right now. It's crazy. So wish us luck in the Gonzalez house. All right, with that, I'm going to pass it over to Mrs. Klingenberg.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm also really excited to get started in Danielson once that gets completed. I know we were just talking about we can't wait to get inside and see it. We've been seeing all the pictures being posted, and it's so nice, and we're just looking forward to getting in and moving into our new home. Like Ms. Gonzalez, I'm also not from Texas. I'm originally from a really small rural town in Georgia, Summerville, Georgia. Very small, like one band in middle school, one band in high school, and those are very small just themselves. So in 6th grade, I started playing the saxophone. My 2 very best friends played the saxophone, and they actually joined a little bit later in the year, and did that all the way through high school. I picked up the trumpet at some point in high school and started doing kind of both of those things, and able to do marching band on trumpet, and played saxophone on the side. Again, when you go to a super small school, like Ms. Gonzalez, like if something happens, you got to jump in and kind of make that work for your program. But after that, I got a scholarship to go to, it's a small college across state lines in Alabama, Jacksonville State University. The school itself only has about 8,000 students in it, which for a college is not that many. But the band program, we marched like 380 people, which is close, if not very similar, the Longhorn Band, which is a much larger school. So band was a huge deal at my undergrad. Got my music ed degree there. My saxophone teacher at Jacksonville State was from Waco, and so he actually went to UT for his undergrad and his master's in saxophone too. So he's where that spark of like, hey, you need to go check out band in Texas. You need to go see what's happening. This is really cool, and it's nothing like this, and you're gonna love it. Go do it. And so the more he talked about it, I knew that's where I wanted to end up. When I graduated there, I actually spent a couple of years about an hour west of Atlanta in Carrollton, Georgia, teaching middle school there. Again, kind of small school. I was the only band director, and also needed to assist with the high school marching band. And that's really common in that area. And did that. So I taught for 2 years there, and then I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. Like, I want to go do this next thing. My teacher talked about how awesome Central Texas is, and I got to go over there and experience that. So I auditioned and got a scholarship to play saxophone at UT Austin, and we're all Longhorns, so it's really cool. I love that. One of the many things I love about the 3 of us. But I got that scholarship to come here and study with Harvey Patel on saxophone, and got to be in the wind ensemble. I played in jazz ensemble and the UT saxophone ensemble and all of those really cool things. The whole time I was doing that, I actually started teaching private lessons in South Austin and in Leander ISD. And I continued to teach lessons in Leander for 6 years. So I was at Canyon Ridge and 4 Points and Vandergrift High School. So just for that one cluster, and I would do all those lessons and then zip down and do my work at UT. Once I graduated from UT, I continued just to teach full-time, like 70 to 75 kids a week in Leander. And after about 6 years, Canyon Ridge had an opening for a band director. And I was like, maybe I should do that. This is awesome. I would love to just be even more involved in the band program. And, I just want to be a band director at this school. That would be awesome. And so applied and got that job. And then I taught as a band director at Canyon Ridge for 4 years. And that brings me to this past year. Met my husband a couple of years ago. We got married. We had our first child. He is almost 18 months old. And so we moved to Georgetown, where my in-laws live. They moved here, of course, like, you find out your son is having a baby. we got to move there, right? Grandparents. And so it's been awesome, but they watch after him during the day. So we moved up to Georgetown, and I've spent this past year as the head band director at Tippett Middle School in Georgetown. Well, I've been hearing about Danielson, and people are like, hey, you need to apply for that job. I heard about it. It's going to be really cool. I think you should do it. And y'all, I was so sad to leave Leander when I had to leave Leander, but knew at the time it was best for my family. And so I am pumped to be back in Leander. I love it. It's all I've known since I've moved to Texas and started teaching lessons like all those years ago. But we currently live in Georgetown, my husband and our son, who's almost 18 months. We have a chocolate lab, and then we're actually expecting our second child. So some exciting things going on. Yeah. What makes me so pumped now is knowing that, we get to open this school together. Like, you guys are coming from other places, but we're all going to be in this really special group of people who are opening Danielson this first year and getting to experience everything at the same time. And it's going to be the school where my kids are going to get to go. And I think that's really special and awesome for me to think ahead to. But I'm just really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to get to know you guys a little bit better.
Awesome. Great. And now we'll introduce Mrs. Piccioni.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lauren Piccioni, and I am coming to you guys from South Austin. Me and my husband live here right now. We have 2 kids. My son is 6 and my daughter is 4. Both my husband and I are musicians, and I come from a musical family. My dad has been teaching band for 40 plus years. So he taught me piano from a really young age, and then I started learning French horn in the 4th grade. And then I went to Hopewell Middle School the first year that school was open. So I got to experience like the joy of being in a brand new building. And then the same thing happened when I went to my high school. I went to Stony Point High School and was the first graduating class there. Same thing, brand new building. So you guys, it's a fun experience to get to be the first and to get to say forever. I'm an old lady, forever, you were the first class. So really cool experience. So after high school, I went to the University of Texas on a scholarship also for French horn. I got a performance certificate, and then I also did music education. Just like Miss Gonzalez, I got to travel lots. I went to a bunch of the bowl games. I went to the Rose Bowl the year before we won the national championship, so one short of that one, but I did get to march in the Rose Bowl parade one year. Went to Europe, went to Napa Valley, went to an inaugural parade. So band takes you lots of really great places. So it's a cool organization to be a part of. After I graduated from UT, I went to University of Maryland, and I got my master's in French horn performance. Got to play with the Baltimore Symphony out there. Actually, the same piece that we did in Europe, I played with the Baltimore Symphony. So crazy how that piece kind of takes you different places. But anyway, and so I went to Maryland, and after I graduated there, moved back to Texas, got married to my husband, and I got my first job at Covington Fine Arts Academy here in South Austin, where we've been living. I was there for 7 years as the assistant band director, and then I've been at Bedichek Middle School for 3 years as the director of bands. And y'all, I am so pumped to be coming to Danielson Middle School. So we are right now in the process of moving. So we just kind of said, we got the job and now I'm coming. We're going to be in the Danielson community. So we're excited to be joining kind of the close-knit, and literally we're about 5 minutes from school, maybe not even 5 minutes, but we're really excited to kind of join the community of you guys and be a part of Danielson. I think I said all the things. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. How crazy would it be for one of your band kids to like realize that they live next door to Mrs. Piccioni?
Well, they're going to play piano playing, so sorry in advance. French horn playing, sorry in advance.
The practicing house. All right. So a couple things. I'm going to walk you through some general things about the band program that probably are similar to what you're used to in your current band programs as well. And then Mrs. Klingenberg is going to talk about private lessons. We're going to talk about some specifics for 7th and 8th grade band at Danielson. And that will be it. If you have questions as we go along, please post them in the chat. and we will try to address them either in the chat or in the full group before we go. So being connected to the band is really, really important. I will tell you, admittedly, it's pretty challenging right now because normally I would have come to your band halls, I would have listened to your band kids. My plan was for all three of us to go listen to the kids live before they left for the year, but that didn't happen. So what we're gonna do is we're going to start to connect with you virtually. And it might take various tries, but that's okay. The most important thing is you will see in the chat a CHARMS registration. What you need to do is register in that Google form on CHARMS for us, because that CHARMS is going to be our centralized database of all student information. What I'm operating on right now as far as emails, if you got emails, if your friend got emails from me, that came from your current middle school band directors. So now what I'm trying to do is build a database of our kids coming from you. So fill out that form and that will go into our CHARMS system. What I'll do then is every Friday that we're in school, whether it's this year or starting next year, I will send out Band Blast. And that's just my newsletter, it's what I call it. And that will be, I'll tell you what's coming up, and I also do an outlook for the next couple weeks at the bottom, and that keeps you going, keeps you knowing what's going on. So this Friday, if you fill out this form and this Friday you don't get an email Band Blast, then you just need to contact me and say, hey, I would wait till Saturday. Say, hey, I didn't get my Band Blast, because that means that for whatever reason, either you're not in our system or you're in our system incorrectly. So please, please, please do that for us, and that will help us out a lot. That's how we're gonna start to build that for Danielson. The next thing is the static hub of information that I'm going to use is going to be the Danielson Band website. And it's already up and going. It's linked to the main Danielson website as well. So if you can't remember how to get to the Danielson Band website, if you go to the Danielson main website, go to the Fine Arts tab, and it's a subsection under the Fine Arts tab. You can always find it that way. The things that I will post there are all the things that I want you to have on your radar, or for example, tonight's Zoom sessions. Once we're done, we're recording them, and if you have friends that didn't get a chance to hop on, they can go to that archive and they can access the Zoom sessions as well. So anything that's coming up that I need you to know about, that's your go-tos, the website. The website also houses the band calendar, and the band calendar is very, very, very important because there's a lot of things that we all have to attend, like concerts, that really need to be on your radar because you don't want to double book a concert. That's that one time that we can get everyone together, and it's really just a mandatory event. So those I will have populated as soon as I know them. We're currently in the midst of planning with athletics and all the other fine arts and getting all of that stuff squared away. So as soon as I have dates set in stone, it's my policy to, as soon as I know them, I put them on the band calendar, because I know that you need as much insight into what's coming down the road as possible. So the band calendar is everything. Make sure you populate it into your own personal calendar. Now, your 7th and 8th grade incoming parents, so you probably already have private lessons on the mind. So to talk a little bit more about private lessons is Mrs. Klingenberg, who's going to coordinate all of that private lesson program for us.
All right, private lessons. So like you mentioned, even if will you just like, if your screen is, if I can see you from here, will you like raise your hand if you are in private lessons already? Perfect. Okay. So you guys already know what those are. And for you guys who are not in private lessons yet, an idea of what those are. And it is not too late to enroll in that program. It's never too late to join private lesson program. So just a quick rundown about what private lessons are, and then I'll address a couple of things for our people who are already in private lessons at your current school. But private lessons are what they sound like. It's where there's this master teacher on your instrument. This person spent their life, you know, all in on the trumpet, like learning every tiny little thing since they were in 6th grade all the way up until now. But they'll come in and they get to spend every single second of that private lesson with just you, which is really special. So they can get all up in your face and like just really just check on some issues that may be going on, or just to take you to that next level as a player. they come in our school once a week. And who do we hire? We're really fortunate and lucky to live where we live, and have these awesome players and teachers, like players that are coming from downtown Austin and people who have been teaching for a very long time. But our lesson teachers are some of those people that you may have heard at some recent concerts. So they could be adjunct teachers at local colleges. They're students who have just got their master's degree in performance on your instrument, or they're currently getting their doctorate at UT or wherever on that instrument, or they've already got their doctorate and now their job is like, in their livelihood and what they feel the most passionate about is teaching private lessons to younger students, and really, paying it forward and putting that back into our community, how, much it has already meant to them. Okay, they happen every week. So once you enroll and get placed with a lesson teacher, once a week, they will come to our campus and they can have their lesson with you before school, during your band class time, or during after school. And there'll be a band director there at all times as well. Okay, the good thing about that, and what I hope sets your mind at ease, is that when we hire these people, we say, hey, this is what we need. We need a lesson teacher for this instrument. And then we get these people emailing us back, and we get resumes, and we're able to check with their references and band directors that we already know and trust in the area, who maybe also have them teaching at their campus. And then they'll apply through Leander ISD and go through the same background check that we've all gone through too. So they do everything the same as a teacher on your campus. They're just a privately contracted person through Leander. Okay. The cost, there's a set cost, and it can fluctuate a little bit depending on what degree level that teacher has, or do they have an undergrad, a master's, or a doctorate? And then how many years experience? Have they been teaching 1 year, or maybe they've been teaching 10 to 15 years? And so it'll fluctuate a little bit. Generally, the price for those is $21 for half hour. And if that automatically makes you step back a little bit, keep in mind that Leander has a grant program for private lessons, and that's all that those funds go to. I've already checked with our fine arts secretary. Currently, she is still closing out this school year, so that information is not available. You can't apply for that yet. But she said once she opens next school year, which will be in the summertime, if you're interested in that grant assistance, just send me an email through the link, and over in the chat, it's right at the bottom. There's Charm Student Registration, Danielson Bend website, and then the Leander email. Send me an email there, and I can get with you on what that process looks like. It's a really simple form online that you fill out, shoot it back to them, and then they send an email back with what grant assistance they can offer, and then you either accept or decline that assistance. But that goes to your private lesson with your teacher. Okay, so if you're interested in that, just let me know. If you don't have a lesson teacher right now, you can still jump in and get that. So it doesn't have to be when you started in 6th grade. Okay, how are we going to enroll? It's probably very similar, if not exactly the same, as what your current school has done. So you'll go, again, to our band website where all of our information is going to be. And at the top, it's not up there yet. This will go on the band blast when that's all set. But at the top, it'll say private lessons. And then you'll click on a private lesson enrollment form, and it'll look very similar to the student registration that you've sent out. It's pretty much it's very similar information with some added things that'll be lesson teacher specific to help them out. But once you fill out that form, that'll get kicked back to me, and then I will set you up with one of our private lesson teachers. And as soon as they get your information, they'll send you an email that's like, hi, my name is Ms. Klingenberg, and I'm going to be your saxophone teacher. And well, here's a little bit of information about me. Now, I'm really pumped. Let's work on setting up a time for your first lesson. And they'll get that set up for you at that time. And then when you're ready to go and they're ready to go, you can start. And so that's really cool. When to enroll. This is really cool. Most of the time, private lesson enrollment doesn't open up until the beginning of the school year, no matter what, 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. It doesn't start till the first week of school. But because you guys have already been on your instrument a whole year, I'm going to go ahead and open up private lesson enrollment for you after this school year has ended. So that first week of June, we're just going to open it up. And so we already have lesson teachers currently. Some of them are, most of them actually are already part of Leander ISD, so they've already gone through the process. They are vetted and ready to go, and they are waiting on you if you're ready to jump in with them. So I'll kick that up there, and then you can go ahead and get started over the summer. If you're going to prioritize one thing every week to keep your playing up, I would say it's that private lesson. Whether you're currently in it now, or if you're not and you need some extra help and some fun. And guys, these are professional players. These are like the real deal people on these instruments that you can meet one-on-one with every week. And that's really exciting and cool to get to know them. Your times are set up through them. They'll get with you and they'll find a good time for you during the week that works well. During the school year, if we're back close to normal as possible, they'll check and see what works best for you and works best for them. They are traveling lesson teachers most of the time, so they may not be on our campus but 2 days a week. And so they'll coordinate like that and set you up with your private lesson. If you currently have a lesson teacher on your campus and you're interested and you want to stay with them, go ahead and send me an email to the email in the chat and let me know, because I want to take that case by case. It'll depend on a couple of factors, and I just want to get with you and have a more one-on-one conversation if you're wanting to do that, okay? And then the last thing I want to say about private lessons is that everybody benefits from them. It's not like a tutoring section, like if you have math tutoring. You go to math tutoring because you're having trouble in math, right? You go to because something you're not understanding. But the private lessons are not like that. So if you happen to be struggling, they will be helpful. But what they're going to do is take you exactly where you are right now and just rocket you up. Like there's nowhere to go but up in private lessons. And so that teacher really tailors every minute of that time to you and what you need specifically. And if you do need a more challenge, they also can do that as well. And so don't think of it like a tutor session. It really is like a very special time that you get to have with that teacher, and really get what you need and start working on more things that maybe you enjoy and would like to play, and really get to form that cool relationship with that teacher who potentially you could still have through Glenn High School. And I think that's cool. If you start lessons in 6th or 7th grade, you could potentially have the same teacher every year for 6 or 7 years. And I think that's awesome. All right, I think that's all I have for lessons, unless someone wants to put a question in the chat.
Yeah, Mrs. Klingenberg has created an amazing lesson staff. It is superstar status. It is total superstar status. So make sure if you have questions for her, shoot them her way, and we'll get you squared away. A couple of things that I want to talk to you about are probably questions that you already have. They're questions that have come my way this week. Auditions and placements. What I was saying at the very beginning of the Zoom meeting, that auditions that we're hearing this week really are just to inform us. You know, you're coming to us brand new and we haven't met you and you haven't met us. So that's our way of understanding how you play, and understanding kind of what you can do. But we also totally understand that you haven't had a band class for a couple months and that it's a very strange situation and that you haven't had that structured instruction. So don't feel bad about that audition. Just submit it and do the best you can. Okay, that's all that we want. Well, also, when we look at band placements we're going to post on June 1. Band placements, we're also taking into consideration what your current band directors are telling us about you. So it's going to really take what would the entire year have looked like for you. And that's going to be how we place kids in a band that's the best fit for them. I will tell you that within this staff, we have almost 30 years teaching experience. We've all been head band directors of programs. So you will not, I mean, there's not going any wrong with where you end up. So please just shoot for the stars, but know that we're understanding and we want to see you do your best. The schedule. Another question that I've gotten is the schedule for Danielson for 7th and 8th graders is every other day versus you're probably used to a band class every single day. And that's a great question. Now, I think what you have to remember is number one, 90-minute periods stretch a long time. So interestingly enough, when I taught middle school, I was on a schedule that was an every single day schedule. But at Anderson, I've had this exact same schedule that Danielson's been on. And both at the middle school and the high school, I love it. I'll be completely honest. I love it. So the way I make it work is I sort of manufacture what would be a complete block. And on the day that let's say your child's in the honors band, on the day that honors band does not meet in class, I put one extra rehearsal. So they're getting what would be an actual week of band in any other program. Additionally, they have a sectional time that's just an hour for their specific band instrument, just like you do at your current program as well. So what it does is within the band program, you get the same amount of instructional time, if not in some cases more, with the band class, and then you have that little extra period. So what would have been, X amount of minutes at a program that is on an 8-period-a-day schedule, you're actually getting more instructional band time at Danielson when you think about the minutes of rehearsal. So that's what I really love about it. Not my decision, that was a Mr. Kohler thing, but I've been lucky enough that I know how to make that work. So we do it for both of our 3rd and 4th band at Anderson right now, our single blocks. So they meet every other day. And they got insanely better when I started implementing that kind of setup. So it's really cool. It actually gives the kids a lot more flexibility because they can have more time in their schedule with other things on the off day. But they're still getting the same amount of band time. So don't think that just because your kids coming to Danielson that they're going to have less band. They're going to have just as much, if not maybe a little bit more band than before. So that's an exciting thing. Don't let the schedule mislead you. The next thing that I want you to be aware of is, I have to look at my notes, school-owned instruments. If you are a kid that's playing on a school-owned instrument right now at your current band program, we're working with your band directors to try to figure out how to make that transition work. Right now, with the challenges that COVID has brought, some of those instruments that were ordered for us, we ordered almost $1 million worth of instruments. But some of those instruments got held up in the delivery. So between Glenn and your current feeders, we've got everybody taken care of, but we've just got to do some shifting. So just stay tuned on that, stay patient. We'll get you an instrument if you are on a school-owned instrument, because we really want you, going back to what Mrs. Klingenberg says, we really want you practicing during the summer. So don't do anything yet, but know that we'll have a plan, and your band director and we will share that with you very, very soon. You will find out what your band placements are on June 1. We'll post them then. Summer band. So summer band, we tentatively have it planned for the very last week of July. That's the last week before we have to go back to in-service. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. So our plan is, and I'll post this on the website on the band calendar, our plan is to have a July band camp just like you would at your program, where we all come together, we play, we learn the fight song, which is brand new, just been written for the Danielson band. We learn the school song, we learn some pep tunes. Now, if it doesn't happen, that's okay. We'll do it virtually in some format. Luckily, we're all getting a good test drive of how virtual works right now. So we have a lot of plans on our radar for how we can make summer band happen. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you're really, really zoned into the website, and you're zoned into the band blast that I send on Fridays, and I'll send a few throughout the summer so that you have the information that you need to be able to go with whatever plan that we end up coming up with should we have to do a different thing for summer band. But our hope is that we don't, and we meet, and we get to see all of you guys for the first time and play as the Danielson band. In closing, if anyone has any questions, throw those up on the chat and we'll answer them before we go. You probably have friends that maybe couldn't make it to this Zoom session, or if they have had a little bit of a challenge getting in, that's okay. We're recording all of these sessions and we will post them on our website, as well as Mr. Kohler has agreed to post them on the Danielson Facebook. So band will be everywhere. Please let us know if you have any questions. Fill out that CHARMS form and we will get to you. Okay, so someone said we received a directive to return instruments on 5/18. Do we hold on to that? So I think that's an everything for your program. You have to remember that your program is operating with kids that half of are staying with them and some of them are coming to Danielson. So go ahead. I'm working with both Mr. Williamson and Ms. Telchik right now to have super defined plans for you. But know that that's probably a directive for the entire program, and that Danielson might have a different setup. We also don't know if Glenn has enough instruments to float us for that instrument for the year, then you might be getting a Glenn instrument, and your instrument for Leander Middle School is going to go back to Leander Middle School. So it's going to be kind of a case-by-case basis, and that's going to come through your band director and me. So just hang tight on that for a second. Are the every other day sectionals during school hours or outside of school day? So it's just going to be one off day. So if you have band on Monday and Wednesday, then the Friday, my understanding is going to be a rotating between the A and B. Mr. Kohler, it's going to just continue rotating?
It'll match up with the high school schedule. So whatever Glenn has AD will be AD just as Glenn would be.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, Mr. Kohler. So what we'll do is, if you're a Monday, Wednesday band kid, you'll have a Tuesday rehearsal, just probably for 50 minutes before school that day. And then you'll have your trumpet sectional Thursday afternoon, and that's it. Does that make sense? Instead of just having band Monday and just having band Wednesday. That way we're kind of manufacturing what would have been a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday band setup. So you'll have two outside of the school day obligations, if that makes sense.
And we'll do our best, because we know that some of our students will be in band and athletics or band and cheer or whatever. Each program meets together and they're trying to do their best to make sure we're not going over each other in each program. And the goal of middle school is to make sure we share students and give them exposure into as many things as possible. And so there will be some overlap, because naturally there's so many programs and so many kids, but we'll do our best to provide support through those processes. The other thing that within our schedule is built in a 30 to 40 minute advocate period that we're going to be calling climb time, because Bearcats climb trees. And so during the climb time, that could be also another situation where students could have that in-school rehearsal time. It could be an in-school tutorial time. It could be a study hour. It could be whatever we make it. And so if a student can't make it to an after school, or they can't make it to this or that, it could be another opportunity for students to meet for band. And so we'll do our best to make sure your kids get as much as they can through our band program. But the every other day schedule does lend to them able to take, as maybe the Vaughn brothers down there that I see you guys, or wherever you guys are, I see, right? As 8th graders, they may want to also take Spanish 1, or they may want to take Gateway, and they may want to take Art 1, or might be looking for some high school credits as well. And so this allows you to still be in band, but also explore some high school credit options as an 8th grader, and then for 7th graders at the same time. Hope that explains that a little bit.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. And I'll tell you, my intention is to use that climb time to our advantage. Exactly. I'm hanging tight until that final schedule is a little bit more solidified, so I know exactly what that looks like. But my intention, I'm not trying to make everyone have a billion hours of band, but I'm just trying to equalize it out so that it's kind of work smarter, not harder, if that makes sense. So I will utilize that. I just didn't want to give you an absolute of, well, this is exactly what it's going to look like. We don't know that yet, but I do know that I'm going to model it after what my current feeder middle school and school do. So that's the long answer to it. That's one of those things I'll keep you updated with in the Band Blast. Yes, your band audition videos. So you can submit them to our email. If you have trouble submitting them to our email, let me know. And we're going to post our Leander. We just got a Leander ISD email. We'll post that on the website, and we can actually post it in the chat too, as well as the Gmail that we've been using. If you have trouble with both of those, just shoot us an email saying that you're having trouble, and we'll help you work it out. I will tell you, it's with recordings, sometimes it's easier to put them into a Google Drive and share the link to the Google Drive with us instead of trying to email the huge file. As a person who just spent the afternoon working on a video, I know what that's like. So throw them in a file or a Dropbox, Google Drive or Dropbox, and send us the link, and that works beautifully. Yes, you may submit your audition tomorrow. That's totally cool. Play pretty. You submitted yours to Google Classroom. That's fine. What Google Classroom did you submit it to? Here's the other thing.
With Miss Ileana Reina. That's Chloe's, that is your French horn teacher? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So somehow we need to get that. What we're working on right now that we have our Leander account, we can set up a Google Classroom. So we'll set up a Google Classroom, and if all else fails, because I know that you guys are having a hard time getting your Leander accounts to speak to our Gmail account, let us try to set that up by the end of the week. Yes, Mrs. Klingenberg.
If she submitted it to her current band director's Google Classroom, it's still in her Google Drive. So she can just find the same one and share it with our Danielson email.
Okay.
She doesn't have to do the video. Yeah.
Okay. So should I just attach it and just try to send it to the email that you just said?
Yeah.
Or yeah. Okay. All right.
You'll be able to click on her video that she's already posted and share it with that email address.
Okay. Perfect.
Chloe, you can share it to me and I can get it to them as well, okay? So just share, you can share mark.kohler@leanderisd and I can get it to theirs as well. Because I could populate easily in your Google Drive.
Perfect.
Oh,
Plus,
cool.
I can hear all you guys play some band.
I know.
Yeah, she's ready. She was so nervous, so she feels relieved now that she submitted the audition.
Yeah, I understand that it's very nerve-wracking, and we've all been there for certain, and we understand that too. And the other thing that you need to remember is that we're not on the other side of it listening to you judging, waiting for mistakes. We're listening to it on the other side of you cheering you on. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that'll help you out.
Oh, for sure. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
Ms. Gonzalez, there was a question about cheer camp. Did you want to address that one?
Yes. So that's fine. What we'll do, I will chat with you kind of offline about that conflict with cheer camp. And usually if we can give and take an hour and they can give and take an hour, that's what I traditionally do. Usually there's a solution. We just have to kind of puzzle piece it with that sponsor. So send me an email and I'll start working on that for you. Okay. Yeah, send me an email, and I know, Jasmine, that I've gotten an email from you already. So just send me another email with that specific issue, and we can tackle that. That's not. And
we've hired a cheer coach. We haven't been able to announce that because they're still in their current contract, and so they can't be released if we announce ours. So that cheer coach, when they come online, will work with Mrs. Gonzalez, Mr. Tony, and Mrs. Klingenberg, and make sure that there is some cohesion there so that we can cheer and band at the same time. So that will work out. I will tell you guys all that how excited we are to have all of you be a part of our school. It is a beautiful campus. I was on it last week for the last time. I won't be able to go on it again until I get to move in on June 15th, which doesn't mean it's open on June 15th, but our offices should be open at that point. And then when we're safe to give tours and we're safe to have you come in, we're going to invite all of our students in, all of our families in prior to the start of school so you can come see the wonder that is this building. As soon as we can, we'll get you in there. But we have to also wait for everybody to say, hey, you can go to Target, you can go to H-E-B, and you can go to school. We're not sure if and you can go to school is going to happen yet, but we'll wait for that to happen and we'll get that hooked up for you guys. So we're super excited to have all of you guys, and we're super excited about these 3 band directors. I've been told by many people in our school district that I have the all-star crew, that I have like the dream team of band directors. And so I know that your children are going to be well taken care of, COVID-19 or not. They're going to band it up and it's going to be amazing. And so we're really, really excited about the opportunities for your students. We know leaving Leander Middle, we know leaving Wiley is a huge thing. And you guys have invested in those schools. We can't wait for you to invest in Danielson, whether that be a year or 2 years, and be the future of Glenn High School. And so it's going to be super exciting to have all of you guys. And I can't wait to see you guys in August.
Awesome. That's all I have. Thank you guys so much. If you know of someone that missed out, tell them no fear. We'll post this so they can see it. They will get all the same information that you did. It was so great to see you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for connecting with us. And we cannot wait till we can play music in person.
Thank you very much. Be safe, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Bye, Hernandez Stanley. Bye, Andrew, James. See you later. Bye, Morgs. Bye, everybody. See you guys. Good to see you. Chloe, be nice. Be safe. Be nice to mom, everyone. Do your homework.
Be nice.
Eshelman, clean your room.
Bye, everybody.
You guys are so great. We appreciate it. Yeah. Go. Why are you still here, Eshelman? You gotta clean your room right now. Go clean your room right now. Thank y'all so much.
Looks too cool. Wants to continue to hang.
Okay.